Hey everyone, this is Trailhound, and today I'm just going to be showing you the latest thing I've been working on. You can see there it's obviously a Fancy Feast style stove, but before I get started, um, I just wanted to say thank you to three individuals that have contributed to this entire idea. First one's AZ Bill because he showed us these cool aluminum Coke bottles, and I got me a case of these at BJ's, and I've just been dying to figure out a way to put them to use. So thanks, Bill. Second guy is an icon in the stovey world, and that is Zelf, who, as far as I know, created the Fancy Feast style stove, which I think is a wonderful creation. So thank you, Zelf, for giving us that. And the other one is also an icon, and that's Tinny from Mini Bull Designs, who created the choke hazard stove, which I have here a knockoff version of. And I've got my silicone tube in there with the two holes, um, and the silicone line running between the two, the fuel reservoir and the burner. So I just wanted to say thank you to those three individuals for everything that they've contributed to everybody. And without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at today's creation close up. Simply a Fancy Feast style stove. There's a really deep well in the bottom of these cans, which really helps push that alcohol right out to the carbon felt, which I just really like. Not to mention the fact that it's such a small, compact stove. That the other thing is, with the diameter being smaller than the typical Fancy Feast style stove, it can nest right inside of a Bud Light bottle. So I just thought that was cool. So there it is. You've seen a couple pictures of it already, and so that's just the first stage that I came up with in this project. This is the actual project that I worked on and came up with today, and you probably get a clue there, seeing that this is the lid and you got a hole in it. Got yourself just another one of those stoves, also a hole in it, and just the bottom part of the container. Inside of here, got a fuel line. So just like the choke hazard, without any nipples, micro nipples, um, this just seats right in here and seals up. So there you go, just a look at that. Same thing with this for the fuel reservoir, using the lid, and you'll take notice that it's not any taller. It's actually just probably a millimeter or so shorter than the base of that Fancy Feast style stove, and that's specifically to prevent over fueling. So there it is. Just straighten that line out a little bit so it sits right for you. So anyway, the use that I've found for this portion is when you fuel it up here and you don't want all your fuel to just gradually roll over there. This can be used as a way to limit the amount of fuel that goes over there simply by placing it into the top here. It restricts the amount of airflow enough to where it won't just continually feed. You'll even get an air bubble or two form in here because it stops the flow. So then when you're ready to let that fill back up, all you got to do is take it off for a second, it'll refuel it, and you put that right back on. So it's just a different take on a remote reservoir setup. So let's go ahead and give it some fuel. Let it go over there. I can see down in the bottom here it's just starting to soak its way around. So I'm going to go ahead and restrict that once I feel that it's wet right now. So I'll just put this in, and that'll help restrict the fuel. So I'll turn the light out so you can see better the flame. And of course, for a tiny little stove, I mean, no different than your Fancy Feast, it'll really put it out there. And the more wick you have exposed, the more flame you can get. This one has minimal amount of wicking. So let's just sit a can pot on there with some water in it. You can have a look at that. And there you go. Your typical flame. That's me jumping around. So there it is with that one. Let's take a quick look with a larger pot. This one has 2 cups of water in it also. Get your larger pot on there. Hopefully you can see that. I'll move this back a little bit. So I'm going to hit the lights again and you can take another look. So there we go. Nice flame. So I'm not timing this. I mean, of course it's a wick stove, so the times are all going to be pretty standard. You're not going to get a whole lot different.